Hey there, Python trainer Reuven Lerner here, and today I want to talk to you about circular module imports. I've given a talk a few times at conferences, including EuroPython about 2 years ago and PyCon Taiwan just about 2 weeks ago, called What Happens When You Import a Module. And when I was in Taiwan, someone raised a question about error messages they got, and that led us to an amazing discussion and demonstration. And this was a confusing enough point that I thought it was important for me to go over it here in this video. So I've created a folder called Module Fun. I know that's redundant. Modules are always fun. But I created this folder, Module Fun, and I'm going to create a file called a.py. I'm going to make the text a little bigger. And now I'm going to say here, x equals 100, y equals 20, 40, 60, and def hello name return hello, let's say hello name from A. Okay, so what have I done in this module? In this module a.py, I've defined two variables, x and y, and I've defined a function. So inside of that module now, inside that subdirectory, I can now say IPython. I'm going to say import a, and now I can say a.x and a.y and a.hello world, and there we go. And I get back a string, and I can even say print of a.hello world, and it works just great. Now it gets that string as an argument to print and prints it out. So far, so good. But I want you to think about what happened when I imported A. When we import a module, the module is executed line by line by line. So when I said import A, Python found a.py in the current directory. It opened it up. It read x equals 100. Oops. It opened x equals 100 and defined that. It read y equals 20, 40, 60 and defined that. It read def hello and it defined the function. It didn't run the function body, of course, but it did compile the function, create a function object, and assign that object to hello. So far, so good. Now let's create b.py in the same directory with almost the same things. I'm going to say x equals 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to say y equals 200, 400, and 600. And now I'm going to say def hello, hello from b. So almost exactly the same module with the same names, but different contents. And so now I'm going to exit from IPython in my terminal. I'm going to say IPython3. I'm going to say now import b. And now I can say b.x, I get that value. b.y, I get that value. b.hello again, and I get hello again from b. Once again, when I imported b, what happened? Python went to b.py. It read through each of the lines there, one by one by one. It executed each of the lines, assignment, assignment, function definition, and then it came back and it made those values available via attributes. So when I said import A, and I can even do this again, oops. So now if I say dir of A, show me the names on A, we got hello, x, and y. The global variables in the module file become attributes on the module object. And dir of B will give me something basically identical, hello, x, and y. So a.hello, a.x, a.y, b.hello, b.x, b.y. So far, so good. What happens if these modules, though, import one another? Import A inside of B, and I say inside of A, import B. So if I import A, what's going to happen? Well, it's going to import B. And once again, it executes right away. So import B, what does that do? It finds and imports B. And then it says import A. Is it going to create an infinite loop then? Let's find out. So I'm going to exit here. I'm going to say now import A. And no, no infinite loop. How is that possible? Well, let's just make sure it really works. A.x, A.y, A.hello world. Yeah, and can I now say b.x? No, I cannot. B is not defined. But B is defined, you know where? Inside of A. I can say a.b.x and a.b.y and a.b.hello again. Why? Because I imported A. That defined A as a global variable in my Python environment. A, when it loaded, what did it do? It imported B. That defined B as a variable. And underneath B, we got each of the variables defined in the module b.py. It's x, it's y, and it's hello. So we now have a.hello, which is going to say hello world from A, and we're going to say a.b.hello, hello again from B. Now, how can it be, or A, how can it be that we did not get an infinite loop? Can it be that Python stopped? Well, basically, if I say now import sys, sys is the underlying Python system, and sys has a dictionary called sys.modules, and this is where all loaded modules are located. If I print it, it's very big, it's very long. But if I say here sys.modules of A, look at that. That's the module A from users Reuven desktop module fun A.py. And sysmodules B, that's from B.py. When you import a module, Python checks inside of sys.modules, is it already loaded? If it's not loaded, then it goes and loads it, assigns that key value pair, the name of the module and the module object, and then it assigns the variable. So if I say import A inside my Python environment here, what does it do? Finds the module A, loads it up, creates it as a module object, and then the variable A is assigned. But that means that the second time that we load a module, it doesn't need to go through all that. It can just define the variable. And that's what happened with us. So I said import A. A ran. So immediately now, A is defined, or almost defined, as we'll see in a moment, as a variable and as a module. Okay. But the first thing we do is in A is we import B. So B is loaded. All these things are defined, but it says import A. Now, is A already imported? It doesn't have to import A because A was already imported. But was it defined? The answer is no. But it doesn't matter, right? Because I say I import A imports B tries to import A again. It says, no, no, no. All we have to do is define the variable. We don't actually need to load the module, because if we actually load the module, we would get an infinite loop. So far, so good. And this is where I thought things stood until someone raised a question during my talk in Taiwan. They said, well, what about those circular module error messages, circular import error messages? And I said, what are you talking about? And it turns out that some people get these all the time, and some people get these none of the time. And I was in the group that got them none of the time. So what's going on? Well, and how can I get that? Well, let's say inside of B, I say print a.hello from B. What does this mean? It means I want to run the hello function from the A module, and I want to say it's from B. What is wrong with this? On the face of it, nothing is wrong with this. In fact, if I now exit from Python and I load it up again and I just say import B, this will work just fine. Hello from B from A. Nothing could be bad about this. I loaded B, B loads A, and then we've got all of the data and functions in A. We run a.hello, all is good. But what if I exit from Python, I start again, and I say import A? Oh, ho, 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 ho. Now we have an error. And this is an attribute error, but it's not the attribute error that we usually get saying an attribute does not exist. Rather, this is the attribute error, says partially initialized module A has no attribute hello, most likely due to a circular import. So what happened here? Let's trace through it. I said import A. So that means a.py. Python finds a.py and executes it line by line. It gets to import B. But before it gets to import B, actually, no, it gets to import B. It knows, though, right? So it gets to import B, and B is then executed. The first line of import B was to do imports A. But Python says, no, no, no. We don't need to do that. A is already loaded. So we don't need to import A. It's already available, but it's not really available. It's available in the sense of having been partially imported. We haven't gotten to the rest of A yet. The only thing we've done is started up the mechanism for importing. So it's registered, but it's not complete. Meaning if I try to use if I try to use A.x or A.y or A.hello, it won't be available. This is almost sort of kind of like the unbound local variable error that we get inside of a function in Python, where Python knows that there is a local variable by a certain name, but it doesn't have the value for it. Here, we know that the module A is being loaded and will be completed being loaded pretty soon, but it's not done being loaded yet. So, is this an actual error? Yes, this is 100% an error. And it's because we are using the module A inside of our module here while it's being loaded. So I said import A, but we were loaded by A, and so it's like in this catch-22. So how can we avoid this error? Like, first of all, we can just use modules for defining things. If you have a separation between defining things and running things in your modules, you will not experience this. If all you have in your module is lots of assignment and lots of definitions of functions, then you are fine. It's the moment that you actually execute something inside of your module, something that will be executed when the import runs, that you will get into trouble. And it's not just executing anything, it's executing something from the module that you have imported that is also importing you. So once again, if you execute something in a module that is from a module that you are importing, and that module is also importing you in a circular import, then there's a very good chance that the import will not be complete and you will get this error. But if you separate out your definitions from your executions, then that will not be a problem. This can't happen because you load the module, all the definitions are there, and then you can run things. Another way you can deal with this, although I don't like this idea so much, is you can put your module imports inside of a function. And then the module is only imported when you are inside of the function. Then you can use things inside of a function, then all is good. Yeah, except it's actually is really, really icky to do that. So if you can avoid doing that, I would suggest doing so. There are no perfect solutions to this problem, although I do think separating out definitions from execution is a good way to go. But at least I hope you understand now where this error message comes from, what it means, and how you can try to avoid it. All right, I hope this was helpful. And if you have questions, comments, suggestions for other topics I could cover in Python Pandas, just leave them in the comments here, and I'll be back soon with more videos on these subjects. Thanks for watching.